Hello. Hey, hi everyone.
Hello.
Hi, Crimson. We have Crimson, I believe Daniel and Katie with us. Hi everyone. How are you?
Good evening. Doing well, thanks, Sayesh. How are you?
Good evening. Good. So, you are also in Asian or somewhere like in this time zone?
Yeah, that's right. I'm based in Busan in South Korea.
Oh,
I'm
that's pretty close actually.
yeah, I'm British, but I've been living here for quite some time. So
Oh,
and
nice.
it's late night, so excuse me having the camera off. But it's probably not a pretty sight right now. So yeah,
Oh, but Bhutan is very beautiful.
there you go. Thanks.
Okay, so guys,
GM, everyone.
we are here. Hey, Katie. So, let me start the conversation. Welcome everyone to the Finding Alpha series of Inland Finance. We are doing this so that a lot of people who are watching would anticipate that what is going on and how the space is, the whole SocialFi space is taking shape. And we invite leaders from that space, projects like you, so that you can share more about yourself and, the listeners who are listening can get a fair idea that, okay, these are the things which are happening. This is the technology where things are happening, and they can be ahead of the curve of other people. They can understand the space better. They can take better bets altogether. So that is the motive of this series. And let's start with introductions. So we can go ahead one by one. You'll just tell about yourself and on your project, and then we'll go to the questions that we have. So we can start with Katie. Welcome.
Perfect. Good morning, everyone. I'm based in New York, so it is GM for
That's pretty early for you, right?
yes. Um, and yes, I can introduce myself. So I'm the senior social media manager at Galxe. I've been with the company for about 5 months now. So leading all of our social tactics, LinkedIn and Telegram as well. And it's exciting to be here.
I believe everybody is a little bit aware about Galaxy, but if you can just, briefly tell us what exactly is Galaxy.
Of course. So Galaxy is our main brand. We are a super app that offers solutions across questing, airdrop hunting. We just launched our blockchain Gravity at this past consensus, which is an omni-chain aimed to linking the connectivity and solving for chain fragmentation. We also have Alva, our AI bot. So I'm excited to talk about some of our AI questions that we have coming up. We, of course, have our Galaxy Quest account where participants can actually participate in community quests. And it's actually great for communities because our quests have initiatives that help participants join and engage with their social media across different communities, which is great for building.
So that's great. So let's move to Daniel. Can you briefly tell us about you and Dmail?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So my name's Daniel. I'm the COO at Dmail Network. And Dmail was founded in 2021, so we're quite mature in terms of being a blockchain project. And essentially, we're an AI Web3 communications platform, and we have several different products and services. But essentially, we allow for P2P cross-chain messaging directly to wallets and DIDs. We're launching an NFT domain marketplace next month, which is going to be very exciting. We've sold more than 3 million NFTs domains at this point. So obviously those being tradable will be a huge value add for our 18 million plus strong community. And yeah, Dmail is we also have something called a subscription hub, which is a BN service. It allows for the 500 projects which are already registered on there to be able to send messages again, cross-chain. We're actually integrated on 32 chains right now, and it allows for the seamless cross-chain messaging to subscribers. And I think we have more than 50 projects that have more than 100,000 subscribers already that have been funneled through our subscription center. So a lot of activity. The Dmail community has sent more than 250 million messages already on our platform. So not only do we have a huge user base, but we have a platform that is being used very, very much indeed. So thank you very much.
Cool, that's nice. Okay, Crimson, let's get to you. So tell us about yourself and Hive.
Yeah. So my name is Crimson Clad, and I am a community member that has grown into one of the operations leads for the Hive blockchain. Hive is an OG DPoS blockchain. It's been around for more than half a decade, and it powers some of the biggest, oldest, and broadest reaching apps in the world. Hive is built for social sharing. And while that does mean value in terms of cryptocurrency, it also means transmitting information, relationships. Hive wallet addresses are human readable, so they work like identities. And you'll find some of the biggest social media and SocialFi platforms are built on Hive's basis because, of course, we are near instantaneous and completely feeless. So it's great open source community, truly decentralized infrastructure. And for us, this is a really exciting topic because it's one of the things that our blockchain does best, but sort of only a small part of the services that we're bringing to the table. Ayush looks like he might have frozen for me. How's he looking for you guys?
Yeah, I think he froze.
Was a mic, yeah, a mic drop of an introduction there.
Yeah, it was a good introduction. Yeah.
It was.
Yeah.
Well, we have a good geographical spread. It's a GM for me. I'm on the West Coast, so 6 a.m. for me.
Very early GM.
It's 10:15 p.m. for me in South Korea.
It's the whole world.
Oh yeah.
Yes, indeed.
Are you back, Ayush?
Oh, yeah. I think there was some
Yay.
internet issue. Cool. So let me dive into the first question. So basically, we are going to discuss about the social fi space, and the first question is that social fi is it still an emerging sector, like it's not a mature sector as of now, and Web3 is the core, you can say, layer on which social fi has been built. So how would you define social fi? Like a lot of people who are watching first time, they would not know what exactly is social fi, and what are the key elements differentiated from the regular social media platforms. So we can go ahead in the same order. Katie, you can start.
Great. So SocialFi, I think, is a really exciting platform for creators, KOLs, users as well, because it's representing this new wave in the crypto space of being able to monetize social interactions and platforms through social decentralization. So I know that most listeners are probably very familiar with Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. Those are all platforms that really build off of collecting users' data and using data to feedback algorithms to them, whether it's advertisements, just creating this sense of consensus around the consumers, where SocialFi is a nuanced platform. And because it's decentralized, users don't have to worry about the collection of their data. It's also a great incentive because there is the monetization behind it in terms of if you're looking at a Farcaster or Dracula, users can incentivize their favorite creators. And it's a really cool platform to be able to interact and support in a new type of social network.
So let's go ahead with Daniel, then we can again discuss. So Daniel, what do you feel about this question?
Yeah, so SocialFi obviously is short for social finance, for the listeners who don't understand that. And that obviously represents the intersection of social media and decentralized finance within this new paradigm Web3. Um, so unlike traditional platforms in Web2 where user data is monetized without any kind of compensation, SocialFi promises a more equitable distribution of the economy. And essentially, that's through tokenization, as Katie mentioned. SocialFi also empowers users by giving them control over their data. It's something that Dmail takes very seriously, data sovereignty, and anybody who's got into the Web3 space, I think we are quite early, and there is that kind of cultural ethos about data ownership. So as well as data ownership, going back to tokenization, users are able to earn rewards for their time, their content, their engagement. And, as I mentioned, there is a more equitable distribution of platform profits in that sense. So, that in itself is a huge value add compared to Web 2, where, essentially you are the product and your data is being farmed. So I think the key difference is really that in SocialFi, users are both participants and stakeholders, and essentially they can benefit directly from the value they create. Of course, this model is enabling the fostering of deeper community involvement, and also it offers a more democratic approach to platform growth as well. So at Dmail, I think we see SocialFi as a natural fit for what we are doing, which is the empowerment and rewarding of users for their time spent on our platform. So yeah, thanks.
That's nicely put. Crimson, can you go ahead?
Yeah, I love going after incredibly intelligent, smart people because they always hit all the main points, and then at the end you're kind of going, okay, so what can I add? The reality is yeah, both of them absolutely nailed it. The core aspect of what makes SocialFi is freedom of connection, the ability to monetize, but largely the ability to have complete freedom in terms of your choices, whether that's ownership of your data, that's who you interact with, that's the platforms that you engage with. Everything is put back in your hands. So, especially for something like Hive, which is an open source and decentralized layer one blockchain, for us, we focus a lot on value. That's the Fi part of SocialFi. And we often think of it solely as cryptocurrency, which is really important. So, dApps that are powered by or connected to Hive have rewards built in. So that monetization aspect, tokenization, but also kind of helping people understand where value comes from. And value looks like more than just transacting cryptocurrency. Value is everything that you do on traditional social media platforms and beyond. It's how they make their money. They are platforms for attention. They are places where people can gather and marketplaces will form. And in a lot of cases, it's where most people get their news, their entertainment. It's where they make their friends and build their communities and businesses. So for us, the big kind of thing is making sure that there is the ability to earn assets, to use them freely, to be censorship resistant, be an immutable ledger. And, that's a fancy way of saying you can't be deplatformed. So Hive has a number of social apps, games, all sorts of things built on top that are all interconnected. And in the SocialFi space, that's really important. The people that I play my games with are the people that I want to incentivize their streaming. I want to subscribe to their channels, but also I want to see what they do in their spare time. I want to share my content. And it goes a little bit further than what we've traditionally seen in the burgeoning SocialFi space, which is selling access to yourself, but instead actually kind of growing your network in a way that can't be taken away from you, which is one of the biggest and most important aspects of sort of today's traditional social media space and where we're headed with what Web3 empowers people to do.
That's pretty interesting, and I think we have covered a lot of touch points here. So the next question actually is around that only. That so in what way the social media ecosystem can empower creators to gain more control over their content and monetization strategies? And how can platform like yours balance the need for freedom of speech with effective content moderation? So we'll start with Katie.
Great. I'm really excited about how SocialFi can empower creators. Again, in terms of the tokenization, monetization aspect of it, I think we've seen creators in the past who have blown up on traditional social platforms where they don't reach a sense of monetization until they hit it really big. And I think SocialFi is a platform where even small creators can start monetizing what they're posting and building on socials through the decentralized aspect in terms of getting monetization back to them. And it's a really cool way for people to discover early on creators and incentivize them. And if creators are participating in NFTs, getting incentivized back to the viewers and followers. So I'm really excited for just the overall transaction support that's happening in the SocialFi ecosystem. And I think because it's all built on a decentralized platform, we don't run into the same hindrance in terms of freedom of speech. So users can really be themselves and interact with each other on these SocialFi platforms.
Okay. Um, I think that in terms of Galaxy, yes, uh, there's again, it's a very different platform. But do you guys have any kind of moderation or like uh, any kind
We
of
do.
guidance for users who are utilizing Galaxy?
Yeah, definitely. So we expand the SocialFi products by we're connecting the Web3 identities and content through our tokenized earnings with our quests. So our SocialFi is more of interactive versus creative publication, but I can talk more about that because we do have the tokenization within our ecosystem as consumers are going through community quests. So this is where a community like a movement can come in and they have built a quest with us that's been very successful, where community members are joining the quest, they're participating. We have some qualifications that are connecting their actual socials as well. So as they're going through the community quests, they're earning tokens, they're earning NFTs, they're moving through the platform, and it's all in a very secure way, especially with our solution for Galxe Passport. So we're making sure that everyone is secure and interacting and gaining tokenization on our platforms in a very safe and secure way. Less freedom of speech and publication, I would say.
Yeah, that's the idea, I think. Yeah, then you can go ahead.
Yeah, there's a bit of an overlap in terms of some of the content. Katie's hit the nail on the head in terms of once again ownership, monetization. I think these are going to be recurrent themes that we are discussing. But yeah, SocialFi obviously does empower creators by giving them the ownership of their content and probably more control over monetization than Web2 platforms as a result of tokenization. So on platforms like Dmail, for example, users can directly earn from their work, I guess you could say, or their time spent on the platform without relying on any intermediaries. I think that's very important. This, of course, ensures that there's fair compensation. There's no middleman. There's no control over how their content is used. And this really kind of shifts the power back to the user or the creator, who essentially is able to set their own terms and monetize through their own engagement. So another way that Dmail really empowers users, is by rewarding them for their communication and interaction on the platform. So it's a little bit different to content creation as such. It's more about activity and being part of that community. And I think this really helps to create opportunities for users to earn based on their engagement. So on Dmail, that can be through completing tasks. It can be through participating in the ecosystem, engaging with, CTAs, whatever it might be. So I think Dmail is really sort of fostering an active and incentivized community where, as I mentioned before, instead of being the product and having the data harvested, they're able to gain rewards from the activity on the platform. Yeah. It's my turn to have maybe bamboozled him to the extent he's frozen.
I'm not sure if I should just jump in and start answering. I see he's kind of roboting around. How you doing, Ayush?
Some internet issue. I don't know what is happening.
Oh,
Can you
no.
hear me?
You can now, yeah.
My internet speed is dropping for some reason. Gibson, you can start.
Too much alpha. The social platforms are trying to shut you down. So for Hive, this is a really relevant topic, specifically from, both monetization strategies and content moderation. Because when I was just discussing that we have a platform literally developed for sharing information, relationships, building communities, and posting content, of course, one of the first thing that people ask is if it's censorship resistant and if it's immutable and you have, true freedom of speech, how do you also have content moderation? And that's a really important aspect, right? The best social media has places where you can cultivate really healthy communities and where you can help people build really great experiences. So the Hive blockchain is the foundation layer. It's completely open source. It is the longest running, largest open social graph in the world. If you could imagine that all of the social media platforms that you use traditionally were open and connected, you could log in and all your friends from Twitter would be there on Facebook, would be there on Blue Sky, would be there on LinkedIn, and came with you to every website and site that you visited. That's kind of how Hive works. And so for content moderation and freedom of speech, we do have both. You can post pretty much anything to the blockchain, but that doesn't mean that people want to see it. That doesn't mean that people want to read it. And it doesn't mean that people want to engage with you. And so what it really does mean is that you have freedom of speech and you can put this out into the world. And then you've got front ends. So platforms like PeakD, Ecency, InLeo, there are many content specific front ends, Travel Feed, all sorts of really cool things. And those platforms allow you to basically customize your feed, mutes, blocks, you can post into communities. And so there is this sort of idea that depending on the platform that you're using or depending on the topic that you're posting on, the people you're interacting with, you have control over your own personal feed and what you see and how you build, but you don't necessarily have control over someone else. And that's that balancing point where you can have complete freedom of speech and anybody can go straight to the blockchain. Even if you don't want to go to a front end, you can check what's there. But at the same time, there are a lot of tools across different front ends, games, whatever you want, to give you some of the protections that come from social media platforms that do have, I don't want to say like censorship, but we'll call it, effective content moderation. And it really encourages communities to take this up. And what it means is you have really strong, tight-knit groups who have really positive attitudes. You have sort of community and social norms that get built around different platforms. You might see things like short form content in Leo that people are engaging with there, but really are preferring long-term content somewhere else. And all of these things are fine. It comes back to that idea of blockchain should empower people to connect. It should help them distribute information, rewards, and it should do that in a way that doesn't restrict them. You should have all the settings on your end. And that's really kind of what Hive is all about. So when it comes down to having control over what you see, who you interact with, and the things that you even attach to your wallet address, which is a decentralized identity, those are all transactions that you make that are held in the blockchain for you. And they're valuable. So Hive doesn't just have monetization in terms of people either subscribing or giving money to content creators, but it actually goes the other way as well, which is really, really cool. Often it's actually hard for a content creator, a KOL, what have you, to engage with and reward their own viewers or their own supporters or their own communities back. And that's what Hive really excels at, is that everybody involved in a conversation, everybody involved in a community has the ability to be rewarded. The platform basically allows any app built on top of it or any social site or even games to basically allow people to mine cryptocurrency for incentivized engagement. So that means if you're not a content creator, which most people aren't, and you want to go comment on, Katie's post or what have you, then she can actually give you a like, and that will actually help you earn a little bit and also kind of create a connection on the blockchain between you as well. So for Hive, it is about making sure there is that ability to protect yourself and to build the things you want to see, but also to really, really uphold that anyone can earn, anyone can participate, and that anyone can build, which is so important about Web3.
I think my next question is arriving from there only. Let me frame it in a different way. That what do you think about like how important is it that the tokenization and monetization factor is, and like we with the rise of Web 2, we have seen that this was just an idea that okay, we can share our revenue with the content creators, or maybe have a model for them to earn. But with SocialFi, we are kind of cementing this up. So I want to understand that how and in what ways it is important to have a tokenization matrix or a monetization model built in any of the SocialFi platform.
Of course, I can kick it off for Galxe. So, in terms of Galxe, tokenization plays a very significant role in our whole product structure and how we're incentivizing user engagement and content creation within the SocialFi environment. So, with our rewards mechanism, we use tokens to reward and engage participants for the content that they're creating to reward their community back. And when people are earning tokens for completing tasks, completing quests, or contributing back to the community, we are continuing to motivate them through this reward of tokenization. And the tokens can be used within our own ecosystem. They can be traded. They're really providing tangible value to our users, especially with the launch of our new blockchain, Gravity, which of course I mentioned before, it is an omni-chain. So it's really going to make that trading and transactional interactions very more operational. And when it comes to ownership and control, the tokenization allows users to have ownership over their digital content and interactions. And the ownership empowers them as well. And they really feel connected to the communities who are engaging and providing quests. And going right into the community building aspect of it, through the reward of tokens when communities are engaging with their user base on Galxe, we're really fostering a sense of community and belonging because users feel incentivized when they engage and they're participating in the quests and they're getting some type of reward back. There's also the layer of decentralized governance. So the tokens are providing users with governance rights. They're enabling them to influence the platform's development, provide more of a strategic direction. So I think once they have that sense of governance that they have within a community, within a platform, it really ties them again to that really strong sense of belonging. And of course, we're built on Gravity, so there's enhanced transparency and trust within the platform as well.
Cool. Daniel, you can go ahead.
Yeah, so tokenization really is playing a crucial role, specifically in the value proposition. As I mentioned, it does allow for an equitable distribution of profits, and instead of all the cash going to the fat cats, essentially the the executives, the owners of these sort of Web2 social projects, there's a chance for everyday users to benefit from the time on the platform. And I think, as I mentioned earlier, we are early in Web3, and I think that a lot of us have joined the space because we have certain values, like we don't think that our data should, we do want to sort of own our own data and have full sovereignty over it. But I think that, realistically, we have a saying in England, cash is king. And it basically means that, that the main value proposition for most users, so if you're going to go scale from 18 million users to 100 million plus, let's be realistic about it. The most enticing sort of value proposition for users will be that they can make money on the platform. And that's what tokenization enables. So with Dmail, for example, we have a couple of examples. We have something called mail to earn. So there's like an earn section in our app. And essentially it kind of allows our partners to airdrop to Dmail users. Dmail also kind of sweetens the pot with either domains or points of our own. And we put our full marketing weight behind it as well. This is a recently launched initiative. So obviously this is valuable to our users. It's making their time and activity more valuable. And basically what it does is it helps to drive specific KPIs of our partners. So our dev team gets involved. It could be, for example, UAW growth. It could be staking, whatever it is that the project wants or needs. We push that and we drive that. And it's a win-win essentially for both, Dmail's growth and retention, happy users, but also for our partners as well. They get to tap into Dmail's 18 million plus user base. So it's a very good thing. And we also are launching the Marketing Hub, which is essentially the premium version of the subscription hub, which I mentioned earlier, which has 500 plus projects on board. Marketing Hub will have tokenization on it. And if you think about it, if you have 100,000 subscribers, that's prohibitively, if you think of a mail list, for example, if you have 100,000 subscribers to a mail list, that's prohibitively expensive. Anybody who's used a kind of blog platforms and send out newsletters know that if you get past like sort of 10,000, it starts becoming, I know that I'm not going to mention the name of the platform, but it's more than $200 and you have to essentially have a specific plan and negotiate a certain price past anything past 10,000. So imagine with Dmail, we've got 50 plus projects with 100K subscribers. That's fantastic. And it's P2P messaging. It's true Web3 marketing. So what would be the next issue? Opening rates. So how are you going to boost opening rates? Nothing better than tokenized incentives, right? So that's how our Marketing Hub is going to work. Again, it's a win-win. It's a win. It's really cutting the cost for Web3 projects to connect with their user base. But at the same time, if you're a user, you're happy to essentially subscribe to projects and essentially get paid for staying informed and connected. There's nothing better I can imagine in terms of marketing. So yeah, thanks.
Okay. We are a little bit short on time, so please be brief with your answers. And Pemsol, please go ahead. Next will be the last question, and then we'll take audience questions.
Yeah, sure. So yeah, tokenization is definitely one aspect of the monetization and incentivization. Because I mean, you guys have hit the nail on the head. Is that obviously people are going to be more engaged when they're getting rewarded, but in all honesty, there are monetization rewards, and there's also aspects of tokenization that go along with relationships and that value that isn't crypto as well. So, we've hit a lot of topics about rewards and how that can be distributed. And yeah, any Hive connected dApp can allow anybody to reward anybody else out of the sort of daily reward pool, which is really cool and obviously draws people in and keeps them. We're basically, I've been in the ecosystem since 2017, but it continues growing. And part of that is because there are also aspects of sort of tokenizing your username, wallet address, and all your activities associated with your account that go beyond just these sort of monetized rewards. And they are connections like your relationships. And they're also connections that come along with your assets. And what it means is that any app built on Hive, or even apps built off of Hive, can come in, can take a look at the people you engage with, the topics that you really enjoy, the NFTs you've earned or produced, the games that you play, the people you play with, and can start using those things to allow sort of building an experience for you with their own products. And we're actually starting to see that with other blockchain platforms, including awesome privacy-focused Dash is paired up with Hive, and we're starting to use Hive's blockchain and incentive structure to actually also look at distributing Dash to people. And so what I kind of see is that everybody's got aspects of tokenization that are connected to an identity. And as we move forward, there's going to be engagement both cross blockchain, across projects, and it's going to become a little bit easier and faster because tokenization means that it's available on a ledger to everybody to use. And I'm really excited for where that's going because with free transactions on Hive, it means that we can really work with other blockchains. It means we can work with everybody from the smallest, newest creator up and help them use these features and stay super engaged. So goodness, there we go. Yeah, it's a really exciting space to be working in. And the core of that is that tokenized aspect of the blockchain. And it doesn't just mean NFTs in this case.
Cool. I think, to be honest, I've seen that the shift is happening even in non-Web3 social media like Twitter and YouTube. Recently, I think Twitter announced their program where they are going to share the revenue with the creators and they are allowing creators to have a premiumized model or something. So I have this question that let's say in the future when we are going to see that the SocialFi is going to compete with maybe the mainstream apps that are currently there, or you can have a different take altogether. Maybe it is complementing. So, how are the SocialFi apps which are currently there and which are going to become coming into the future going to compete against the giants like Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and all of those?
Great question. I can kick it off. Would love to just start off by saying, even on Galxe, considering our quest as a SocialFi platform, we've just welcomed our 30 millionth user to Galxe, which has been huge. And our whole mission is to onboard the world to Web3. And part of that is making sure that we have very user-friendly interfaces. I think as soon as people start to hear blockchain, as soon as they start to hear NFTs, crypto, all of our Web3 jargon, they start to take a step back. And even though SocialFi is a very fun, engaging, and interactive thing for users, I think we're still pretty far out from the overall accepted consensus of people trusting and believing in blockchain technology. So having a very user-friendly interface, I think, is going to move mountains in terms of onboarding more people to start using social applications like Galxe, like Hive, like Dmail. And I think that it's going to come in a wave. I think, we see that with TikTok, even if we're talking about traditional Web3 social media platforms, where pre-COVID, TikTok was a funny app where people were dancing on it and it wasn't accepted, above the age of 16. We had COVID come in, people were at home, they were expressing themselves on TikTok and it took off. And now everyone kind of says, I wish I had been a TikTok content creator 5 years ago, because they are reaping the benefits now of having brands come in and support them. But then taking a step back to SocialFi, once we get this big wave coming into SocialFi, and as we've all mentioned before, there's the reward aspect, there's the tokenization aspect from small micro creators all the way up to big creators. It's really viewer incentivized, content creator incentivized, and I'm excited what the future holds for that.
I definitely second that, the UI that is currently there in Web3 app. I think that's a very big uh, area where you can see huge improvements, and it is going to be there. Like we have to have very good UI and very easy to use, like not having people to connect their wallets and from the beginning only asking them a lot of different things, like they'll just get trapped into the jargons and it totally, like puts the show down. So yeah, that's a very interesting take. Daniel, let's go ahead with you.
Yeah, so we've talked about data ownership and tokenized economy and those things. I won't mention any more about that. I also think obviously decentralized governance is another key factor that could bring a lot more value to the Web3 projects than the current sort of Web2 behemoths. So I also think that there's potential for AI in SocialFi platforms to simplify processes, much the same way as sort of account abstraction as simplified logins in Web3. I think AI, what we're planning at Dmail, for example, is that the AI assistant can act as a powerful productivity tool, and there'll just be more to do. If you have Web3, things like sending crypto assets to other wallets just to a simple command, a simple prompt. And I think these kind of things will sort of free up more time for creativity. We are planning a Dmail AI assistant, which will act as a productivity tool. This will help with scheduling, sending crypto assets to other wallets, and I think obviously this can happen obviously on Web2 as well. But I just think that there's some of the complex processes in Web3 that are a little bit prohibitive for onboarding users at the moment. That will be solved. And then what you'll be left with is an altogether better value proposition that we've been discussing this evening for me, where essentially you are able to monetize from the platform and you do own your own data. It is a decentralized platform. There are tangible benefits to it. So yeah, for me, I think it's all about the UI and the UX in Web2 is definitely not broken. It's something that needs to be emulated. It's not broken. We don't need to fix it. What we need to do is we need to add that value proposition, that Web3 layer on top, and simplify the processes. And I think when we get to that point, that's when we'll be able to realistically compete with these Web2 platforms.
Yes. Okay. Uh, I'm just checking the comments, and there are a lot of questions from the audience. So, your take, Crimson, and then we'll take the audience questions.
Yeah. So not to be too repetitive, because I think the sort of wide agreement is that UI is one of the first things. How an interface looks and how familiar it is to someone is inherently going to be always a stumbling block when you are presenting new concepts to them. But in my mind, and sort of what we've seen certainly ourselves with dApps building on Hive and beyond, is that UX aspect, that experience aspect. And one of the things that I personally think is that this sort of differentiation is that especially services, platforms that are building on Web3 will start picking away at sort of smaller niches. And so TikTok was a great example. Rather than building gigantic, monolithic everything apps, and I know that's what Elon's trying to do with X, you're going to start seeing the services that are beautiful and simple and solve the problem that you are looking to solve become your go-to. So kind of the way that I see this, both, for Hive and beyond, is that people are going to start building effective, easy to use tool sets. And that's going to go beyond just these parts of social media that we think of day to day. And a couple of really great examples are 2/3 of the world's podcasts are actually being announced by Hive. It is faster and easier to use than some of the existing incumbents, including Apple. And people have no idea that that's happening because it's a service called Podping. That's the idea, is we're going to have automagic integration. The best services you probably won't actually know are blockchain unless you go digging and you want the benefits of blockchain. But the companies that are going to rise to the top are going to take the inherent value that Web3 gives them and pass it on to their consumers, their clients, their customers, their communities. And it's going to be able to enable, projects like Galxe, like Dmail, like any DApp that's built on Hive to start passing those on freely. Same thing with something like Distriator. People can use a QR code on their phone, take 2 photos of a product that they have bought with their crypto, immediately post a review to Hive social sites, and earn money back in crypto. So they can spend crypto to earn crypto and start using it in a way that's really natural, one tap payments, reviews, like other social sites. These are the types of things that will help people understand without having to go through all of the really scary parts that come with heavy finance first or heavy tech first approaches to blockchain. And that's the part of social and community that's taken off and built these monoliths like Instagram, X, Facebook, YouTube, etc.
Pretty interesting take, guys. Like I can see like there's a lot of innovation happening, and the user numbers are huge. Like we are already touching more than like in tens of millions of users. That's crazy. So think a lot of them are here, or maybe there are a lot of people who are interested to uh, be earlier to this game, want to participate by token purchase or something. So we are shortlisted 5 questions from the audience, and what we are going to do is just ask the questions, and anybody who feels like they can answer, we'll keep it 1 or 2 line only, so that we can take more questions. And um, if there's a specific question to any specific team member, we'll directly address it to you guys. So I think the first question is from Haley on X, that as SocialFi platform grows, what are the scalability issues they face, and how might they affect user experience, in particular in terms of transaction speed and cost? It's also like somewhat related to the blockchain trilemma that we are decentralized, and scaling has been a big problem. So I think you guys can throw some light that, and you guys, I think you are right now in the phase of scaling all of the platforms.
So I'm happy to jump in on this one because this is something that is actually kind of one of Hive's unique value props. And for us, scaling the aspects of it that are most important is, as you say, transaction speed and transaction costs. You cannot scale to more people if it costs too much money or it takes too long. No one will build. So for us, we've had basically an always feeless transaction system, which means when you're playing games, making comments, etc., you're not signing off for gas fees every time you're doing something. And that is huge because it allows people with no assets to begin, to earn, to participate. And that's a huge blocker for people. But also, we like things to work automatically. We don't care how they work as long as they do work. And the big thing there is speed. We are not used to long confirmation times. So blockchains like Hive allow for 1 block irreversibility. That's really, really important for games and transactions that are part of an instant interaction. And the biggest thing is allowing that to be accessed by anyone so that when you make a transaction, it automatically shows up on the screen for the game, for the chat, for whatever. And so that's something that we are kind of taking out to the world, is that is how scalability works. And we are moving to gasless blockchains, we are moving to speed. The slow and expensive things will start getting pushed to the side because it's uncomfortable for people. It takes them out of the experience.
That's true. And any more take on this question from Daniela or Katie?
Yeah, I'll just jump in. So yeah, basically, Dmail has scaled out to 32 chains. We actually started out on ICP, and the
So
reason for that.
in Dmail's case, do you guys like specifically, do you guys have to do something to be on a chain, or is it like inherent because you are EVM compatible, or how does it work?
Well, we actually started out on ICP, which is not EVM compatible.
Okay.
And ICP, the reason we started out on ICP is because it's an extremely fast blockchain, and it has a reverse gas model. I mean, when you think about it, who's going to really want to pay to send emails, right? So ICP has that unique architecture. It's a very technologically advanced chain, and it's assisted greatly with storage and scalability. Of course, we have had a user acquisition model where we have built out to now be on 32 chains. And you're right that obviously integrating EVM compatible chains is something that our dev team has become really quite expert at. And we've sort of built out very well. I mean, 32 chains speaks for itself. So. And I think that's really what the scalability has come from. The fact that we are truly a multi-chain project, and that we are able to tap into all these communities, that's enabled us to gain more than 500 partners, more than 18 million users, and to be a top 20 DApp on DApp radar across all verticals. That's also, by the way, with only 15 of the 32 chains accounted for. Our actual number is considerably higher. So, yeah. I think that pretty much covers it.
And I won't hold back the
Okay.
next question if you want to shoot away.
So let me go ahead with the next question. So interoperability between various SocialFi platforms is crucial for users. And what strategies are being implemented by your teams to enable seamless integration between different dApps and social media network to ensure a better user experience? We have a little bit covered this question, but it's, I think, a good question from audience member. It's from Spartan. So, Katie, maybe you can go ahead on this.
I'd love to, yes, because this feeds into our blockchain Gravity. Gravity is our omni-chain solution, which is solving for chain fragmentation and interoperability. So we are the chain for all chains to come. We're not trying to compete against Solana and Ethereum, but we're really trying to link the overall user experience. And with that, I know we've discussed before, but as we're solving for solutions in terms of timing of transactions, how easy it is to transact across blockchains, that is where people are going to be onboarded into SocialFi by the masses. So we are really aiming to create a solution to build towards a future where we're onboarding people into this space. We're making it very seamless to interact across all chains through Gravity. Transactions are smooth, transactions are fast, and builders can come and really just take advantage of our whole ecosystem in terms of all of the dApps that we've created. So I think as more blockchains, evolve or come to be, creating an omni-chain solution and future is what we're looking to empower users with Gravity.
It's a pretty niche use case of the blockchain Gravity. So this is have you built it on any platform or is it like built from scratch? How is it?
We're currently in alpha mainnet right now, but it's fully built by us.
Okay, that's cool. Any other member have any take on this, or we can jump on to the next one?
Yeah, I'll try and be really quick because I know that's where we're at. But
Yeah, I
so
think we
Hive.
already, yes.
So yeah, Hive. This is kind of the point of Hive, and I love that Katie said,
Yeah.
hey, like the whole point is we're not out here to compete. Because Hive has no founders, no VCs, no corporate ownership, and is truly owned and built by the community, we obviously believe the same thing so strongly. So one of the things that's up and coming, because we are not EVM, we are also a DPoS layer 1 that's been around for 7 years now. We specifically do not require complex programming languages. So common web languages can be used to access Hive's ledger and also to build on it. But you can also access Hive's ledger and pull it into any normal website or even other chain connected sites. And that can be done right now. But we've got two kind of up and coming things that are exciting. One is towards the end of this year, we will be having a hard fork that will be deploying some more features for the Hive application framework, which basically just means we are creating a way for any dApp builder to start grabbing info from Hive easily without having to learn anything to do with blockchain. And also we have a second layer system that is up and coming called VSC, which is fully EVM compatible, which means that people using Hive that are traditionally, kind of stratified across two different types of blockchain, now we'll just be able to move seamlessly between them. And so for me, yeah, it's part of what I do day to day is looking for other blockchains and helping them either use Hive or bringing Hive users to them. So it sounds like I've got some people in this chat to talk to too.
That's cool. So let me quickly jump on to the next question, and it is again very interesting one. That I think we talked a little bit about AI, but this is like I know that currently AI is everywhere. You can see now the platforms are evolving and introducing their own AI. Meta has their own AI. X has Grok AI. So what do you see uh, in the future? Are you guys working on any AI system of your own, or are you utilizing AI in some way? And and what do you think? The apps which are going to come on the platforms. So how do you see the use of AI, and what are the current innovations that you are doing around the AI? I think all
So
of you can tell us a little bit about.
Yeah, I'll be really quick because Hive itself as a blockchain doesn't actually really use AI in any way, but the dApps on top of it are already starting to build really cool use cases from ways of moderating content feeds and organizing threads on in Leo. Travel Feed is a beautiful travel-centric platform that has an AI that will help you translate menus wherever you go when you travel, and also will help you put your posts and your photos together in your blog to help you like your trip logs. So you'll have a personal AI there. Peak D has an AI that will help read out posts to you and organize collections of posts and users. And people are starting to build AIs trained on Hive content, as well as to create gameplay bots across different Hive connected games. So they are already part and parcel of a number of Hive dApps, and the use cases are growing really, really quickly, which is really cool.
Yeah, I just add that with Dmail, obviously, I've mentioned a few things about what we'll be doing with AI. It's going to be instrumental in for marketing, for user segmentation and profiling. It's going to allow, therefore, for highly tailored content delivery, more effective marketing efforts. But I think as I said as well, the AI assistant is going to act as a very powerful productivity tool. It's going to help with scheduling, sending crypto assets to other wallets, like I mentioned. Obviously, writing emails, organization, just whatever you can essentially do. Think of it as an assistant, basically. So obviously, this is a productivity tool. It's going to free up a lot of time for more creative and strategic endeavors. So, yeah, I think that these are obviously going to enable for a more dynamic and user-centric experience. So it's not necessarily only in in Web3. This is obviously going to be pertinent for Web2 as well. But it's certainly something that we're going to be implementing in our platform as well.
Cool. I think it's a very exciting space to be in for everybody who is watching. Uh, Katie, anything you want to add?
I will add on that one. So we do currently have our Alva AI bot. live and fully functioning on Chrome browsers. So our AI extension is fully featured on the Galxe website, which as you're navigating through the SocialFi aspects, Alva, consider it your crypto co-pilot. We have the extension that pops up, helps you navigate, helps you move through the space. And I think AI, as mentioned before by the others too, it's really going to help with what we've mentioned of creating a seamless experience of if people don't know how to navigate blockchain, they don't know what decentralization means, how to collect their tokens, build a wallet even. AI, I think, is really going to help with the process of onboarding people into this space and get them more acclimated into the SocialFi ecosystem.
That's pretty cool. I think that there's a lot of innovation going on. We should definitely have a hands-on on the Alva bot on Galaxy, and that now we are on the last segment. So the series name is Finding Alpha, and all the people who are watching this on Binance are going to looking for this part where they want to find the alpha about your projects, what you are currently doing, and what can be the major uh, you can say development into your product which you haven't released. So this is like you can spill your secrets here, and it is like the Finding Alpha series. So and one by one you can tell, and then I'll also share some alpha from Uniland side.
Sure, I can spill some alpha on Alva, the AI bot that I was just talking about. There are a lot of new features to come. I won't leak the exact features, but even if you go to our X profile at Alva app, you can see that last week we announced the Telegram bot integration. So that's a little teaser to keep an eye out for future features from Alva that will empower users to use AI in the crypto landscape. Lots more to come with Alva.
Yeah, and I'll just dive
You
in.
can also share which is not already been shared. just few of us. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just saying that. With Dmail in November, we've got an action-packed month planned. There's a couple of things that's initially spring to mind. We will be listing on a top Korean exchange, so obviously that's very important. That's going to provide a lot of liquidity. And we are also launching our marketplace. So as I mentioned earlier, more than 3 million NFT domains have been minted. Users will be able to trade those on the platform. It's going to bring a lot of benefits. It's going to be very exciting to see that underway. So yeah, by the way, thanks, Ayash, for having me on, and wonderful guests we've had today. Very stimulating conversation. Thanks ever so much.
Thanks. It was great to have you here, Daniel. Crimson,
Sorry, I'm getting ready to go. From Hive side, it is hard to keep alpha under wraps when you are a fully open source blockchain building 100% in public. We have over
yeah.
100 devs contributing to a fully open source code base. That doesn't mean that there isn't cool stuff coming. So I did mention the Hive application framework. That is a big one coming towards the sort of mid-December, which, as I said, for anybody on any chain building anything, any website, right down to a blog, it will make a couple click connections and really easy to use web languages. Pretty much instantaneous for you to start pulling information, placing information, building dApps on Hive. That's huge. But we actually also have some Binance alpha. Towards the end of the year, we will be running a big learn and earn campaign with Binance about Hive's actual APR system, which a lot of people don't know about. We talk a lot about social, but Hive actually has the ability to earn up to 15% APR compounded monthly with no lockup, fully self-custodial, all in your own hands. So we're going to be working with Binance to do a campaign on that. And finally, we've got some really cool upcoming stuff, like I said, with the VSC network. So if you're on an EVM chain, that will be really exciting for you because it will basically allow you instantaneous and seamless connections interactions across your chains, interactions with all your smart contracts, and the ability to kind of pull that into your Hive building world, whether you are a user or a builder, and vice versa as well. So lots of really cool stuff, including cross-chain partnerships coming up that we're really excited about. So
That's pretty cool. I think our audience have got a lot of alpha, and they should definitely, if I haven't, do a hands-on to all of your dApps and whatever products that you guys have live. I believe a lot of audience are already using like Hive, Dmail, and Galaxy are pretty popular products. I believe a lot of them are already using. But if you are not, please do check it out. Uniland has been partnered with all of the projects. We are utilizing all of the partnership that we have in one way or another. So it has been a great session. Let's move forward to the next
Oh no, I think he's rugging.
Yeah, it's been a great time. Thanks ever so much.
Yes, happy to join. Was surrounded by great company today.
oh, he's waving at us.
Yeah. Hello. I think the internet again got stuck. Yeah, so we are coming up with the Numa product, which is going to solve a lot of gas problems and chain fragmentation and liquidity fragmentation problems. It's going to integrate with all of the projects that we have live.
Oh no.
Just follow the instructions
They're going to have to do a follow-up post because he just got tantalizing there with integrations and gas solutions and all sorts of cool stuff. It was a great chat, you guys. Thanks for hanging out this morning.
Really good chat, everyone.
Yeah, cheers, guys. Have a good one.
Thank you everyone for joining in. Please do make sure to follow all the panelists' social ID and stay tuned for next Finding Alpha episode. Thank you so much.